We know the fact that she does this in response to that, and then we know that she also has something get in her way. So it could literally just be that she would have got there, but she couldn't, having to stop that little cockroach thingy.
Wait, what chapter is this? Also, wait, the cockroach thing was what was stopping her from...
Yeah, so she had to waste time to kill it, right?
Yeah, then I think she just opens the eye so that she can kill it faster with higher AP. I don't even think it has to be a speed thing then.
No, she said it says Rika shifted into a higher gear at that moment, and then it shows that. So I think it's like one after the other, quite clearly.
What chapter is this? Let me just pull it up.
It is 179.
179. Okay, yeah, let me just pull it up. Wait. Could this not just be her opening the eye to kill the cockroach faster? I don't see what the issue with that is. Because she can obviously sense him. She's also just looking right at him.
Is she? I don't think she is. He's not in frame whenever she's like focused on the domain clash, and it kind of shows that like her attention's based on that. So it doesn't really.
We don't see what direction she's facing at all in the previous panel, and then the first panel in which we can see the direction she's facing, she's just hitting the cockroaches.
No, we see she's looking directly at the domain clash actually. And then it goes to like her inner right before that, and then it goes to her inner monologue, and it's like, it doesn't say anything about the cockroach. It says like she does this because of this. It, like Rika could not accept that, so she did this. It doesn't say like she did that or she thought she couldn't accept it and she did this for like another reason. It kind of like gives us the correlation the causation for it.
Well, yeah, but she can sense the cockroach without looking at the cockroach. Obviously, can sense characters' curse energy without looking at them. For two, the reason she can't accept it is because the main reason she can't get there at all, generally speaking, is because the cockroach is there, assumedly. I would imagine like a JJK character who's like fucking Mach speed can cover 20 meters pretty quickly.
No, they kind of stayed. Ishiguro had just knocked Rika over 20 meters away, so they didn't need to do anything special. Rika would never reach the barrier before construction. Yeah, it's kind of implied that it's just a distance. It's a distance-based thing. So I think the cockroach comes in, so this is like my thoughts. They pop domain. Rika's like, oh shit, I can't get there in time. They knocked me too far away. So she goes into a higher gear to reach there, and the cockroach gets in her way. So her plans are foiled. She can't get there in time. But I think like the causation is still there, even if like the conclusion doesn't come, right?
Wait, could the reason that they don't have to do anything special just not be indexed to the cockroach?
No,
like the distance is only too much because
of the distance.
Well,
I don't see where they draw any. They never allude to that, so I don't think it really makes sense.
I think it needs to be alluded to in the immediately following panel is just the cockroach interfering.
Yeah, that's fine. So
every character can sense this cockroach too. It's like all of them can sense curse energy. It's not like they're surprised that this guy is there.
I'm not sure about. Can they do that while they're focused entirely on something else?
Yeah, we literally see characters mid-fight. I think like a good example of this is the Shibuya incident. We see characters that are like mid-fight noticing Sukuna's curse energy.
Yeah, isn't that because Sukuna's like that big of a threat that like it takes away the attention from the fight? Isn't the cockroach like super weak compared to all of them at this point? Especially like a power.
No, he was stalemating them.
Well, not Rika, right?
Well, Rika, he does pretty decent against Rika. They all kind of counter each other. We know the cockroach is as strong as Uro, who's like able to counter Ryu. Like that's the reason they're in a deadlock, because they all scale to each other.
I don't know if that's the case for. Well, that kind of begs the question, right? I'm talking about Rika.
Rika just scales to you to scales to people in the deadlock.
The thing is, yeah. So again, that kind of begs the question because we're arguing whether Rika does scale to Yuta, right? That's what's in question.
You think Rika scales above, so it's even worse.
Exactly. So Rika doesn't scale to the cockroach. She wouldn't deem it as such. Like it doesn't really make sense.
No. She demonstrably does scale to the cockroach. This would just make the cockroach even stronger. This would be an upscale for him.
Wait, she scales afterwards?
What do you mean she scales after? Prior to this instance, she fights.
Should be like scaling to, at least like this Ryu scaling to like a weaker. Rika just one shot the cockroach. We see Yuta kind of brush him off. Like they kind of brush off the cockroach, and they should both be weaker than Rika, right?
Who should both be weaker than Rika?
The Ryu or at least like that former Ryu and Yuta.
Do you grant Rika stronger than Ryu generally? Because like, the cockroach is just relative to Ryu.
No, but I also don't grant Ryu relative to the cockroach. The thing is, okay, so
it's just already stated that they're in a deadlock. What do you think the deadlock entails?
Well, no, they can be in a deadlock, but if Ryu's holding back, then it doesn't really matter, right?
Why is he holding back against Uro and a fucking cockroach?
Because if he's holding back against Yuta to enjoy the fight and he sees them as less than Yuta, then it shouldn't. It should be entailed that he would hold back even more against
He
them.
sees them as less than Yuta because Yuta's able to one-shot a member of the Deadlock. He's just way clear of them, and he actually tries to kill people.
Yeah, so exactly. So if he's holding back against Yuta to enjoy the fight, he'd have to hold back.
What do you think he holds back against Yuta?
Okay, so are we getting into that? Is that the conditional?
Well, yeah, that's kind of an important thing.
Well, yeah, but I'm saying it's kind of a lot of things that are in question right now. Like, are you fine ignoring all those? Because obviously it's not a debate, so like we don't need to talk about all those. But are you fine like just?
Well, yeah, I think basically, I think most of the stuff is just reliant on if Ryu scales the fucking combination.
Yeah. Okay, so Ryu just can't damage. Yuta can't damage Ryu. We see Ryu tank. His own beam.
Wait, why can't Yuta damage Ryu?
We see him punch him a bunch of times, and he just doesn't do shit. Like physically, he can't scale him.
He punches him and he starts coughing up blood. We see it on panel.
I definitely don't remember that. I remember him punching Ryu a bunch, and it just doesn't do shit. I remember Ryu even like laughing as he's getting fought.
They punch each other. They punch each other, both deal damage, and then Yuta uses a curse technique up close, and it makes Ryu spit up blood.
Wait, is that like at the end of the fight, or are you talking about early fight? I'm talking about early fight. Because remember, what's in question is, another thing that's in question is if he's even scales to himself at the end of the fight, which I don't think he does.
Did we provide any sort of basis as to why he gets any weaker aside from energy expenditure?
Yeah, that's
is the basis just using curse energy?
You want to move? Oh yeah. It literally is just curse energy expenditure.
Okay, and how would we quantify his curse energy expenditure in comparison to Yuta? Because Yuta also uses a bunch of curse energy. It's stated he uses literally basically all of his curse energy and has to get it refilled.
Okay, so he gets it refilled?
Yeah, and then uses the exact same shit that he did that emptied it out in 3 chapters.
So he empties... So Ryu has to burn more curse energy because Ryu gets a refill. Yuta gets a refill. Yuta goes low on curse energy. Ryu should be low. And I remember mid-fight, as they're going at it, it's literally stated that Yuta's technique replenished first, so... what's his name? Ryu was at such a low amount that he couldn't even pop his technique.
Wait, when is he at such a low amount that he can't use his technique?
Whenever they're about to have their clash. I think it's stated. I'll find it though.
Are you talking about when they both charge up the beams at the end?
Yeah.
Yuta gives him extra time to charge his beam up to full power. It's stated verbatim.
Yeah, so...
It's stated that Yuta could have just fight ended right there and just shot him in the face, but he just lets him charge up his beam.
Yeah, that's not really a denial of my point, though.
Well, yeah, it doesn't say anything about him being low on curse energy. It speaks to the fact that to use the full power beam, he has to charge it up longer, which is trivially true of basically every beam attack in the series.
No, I'm trying to find this where they
can use... early in the fight, like, Ryu is tanking attacks. He just doesn't get hit cleanly. And then when he starts, like, when they start going Relin hand-to-hand, Ryu just shoots him with a fucking beam. Because Yuta doesn't know how his technique works. But we see, like, in the raw hand-to-hand, they're just very fucking rel, even at the start of the fight. I'll get the...
Hold on, I'm trying to read 1 second. Does anybody have, like, the whole Ryu can't use his curse technique shit?
That's also pretty sure it's 180, 179, those chapters. It's after the domain clash, so it's probably late 179 or 180, yeah.
Alrighty, and what'd you say, Gizbob? You said they went relative hand-to-hand?
Yeah, at the start of the fight. I was saying, like, the whole, like, Yuta can't damage him thing seems a little weird because Yuta doesn't hit him cleanly. The only clean hit at the start of the fight is when Ryu, like, kind of off-guards him with his beam while they're having a fist fight.
No, I definitely don't think so. But I'm gonna go look at it. I really remember it being the opposite. I remember Ryu was just, like, fucking around with him at that time.
This is a Yuta who's already, if you think curse energy expenditure weakens you, this is a Yuta who already had to deal with the cockroach prior to this, and who just fought another member of the Deadlock. He's like 2 members of the Deadlock deep before going in to fight Ryu, and still goes rel to him.
I don't think he's
like visibly injured as well. He's like bleeding out of multiple parts of his body, and he still has no problem fist fighting him.
No, I'm trying to find like the fade, unless you've already sent it.
Yeah, he did.
I sent it.
I could ping it, or you could just send it again.
It's chapter 177 when they start fighting each other. But I sent like the hand-to-hand that I'm talking about.
What was that? Oh yeah, that's not really... I don't really know what this is going to justify. How does it show...
demonstrably comparable in hand-to-hand.
Yeah, but how does this... I'm saying, was Yuta able to, like, damage him ever?
No, I'm saying there's no basis to say Yuta can't damage him because he doesn't land a clean hit ever, which is a claim that you made initially.
No. Oh, my bad. I remember the argument. He kind of bitches Rika, who should be above Yuta at this point.
When does he bitch Rika?
So he shits on her on panel, and then he off panels her with a beam.
Are you talking about when he punches her away when she's already about to fade out?
No, it's not when she's about to fade out. No, I'm not talking about the very end of the fight. I'm talking about pre-domain clash. He does the same thing. He kind of off panels her. That's how they get into that whole domain clash, right? He knocks her off the screen.
It doesn't even. Are you talking about when he punches her away? It doesn't even do anything to her. It just sends her flying.
That's fine. So she can have like higher durability, but it's not really.
She actually just rocks his shit too.
Yeah, no, that's fine. But the argument is that I think Rika's stronger, and he actually thinks he can take on Rika at this point. So if he's like,
your argument is that Ryu bitches Rika. That just doesn't happen.
No, he does. He bitches her in terms of speed. Like she only gets one clean hit on him, and that's when he's not really getting ready to attack.
Dude, he's literally staring right at her, and she just walks up and punches him in the fucking face.
She only tags him once. Yeah, at that point, he's literally not. No, he doesn't. He tags her 3 times. Or no, he tags her twice.
Where's the twice? When she blocks the beam, I don't think that's a tag.
No, he off screen. He sends her flying.
No, that's we literally see her get sent flying on panel.
No, we don't.
We do. I can send the scan.
Actually, yeah, we do. But it's not the time you think of. It's not when he like says this calls for an extra large helping. That's actually prior to this. And that's kind of what I'm using to say he was holding back. Because it wouldn't make sense that he scales to both like a way weaker Yuta and then he scales to Rika.
That wouldn't even be contradictory if my point that using curse energy doesn't weaken you isn't like an actual thing. If using curse energy isn't enough to weaken your stats, then that still follows. This like doesn't create any contradiction with what I'm arguing.
It doesn't, because you said damage. You're the one who set the precedent that damage weakens you, and we see he's way more.
Well, he is damaged.
You said he's like way more weakened, or like he looks on panel way more damaged than when Ryu got hit by his own blast, right? So he should be like way more weakened under that standard.
He's bleeding, yeah. He's some level weaker, sure.
But no, he's bleeding, or he's way more damaged at least than the Ryu we see take his own blast. That you said was like, or like you said that was significant enough to then warrant him getting fucked up later.
You know he's using RCT throughout the fight, so like I assume that he's just healing it as he fights. I'm pretty sure it's stated outright that he just heals like throughout most of the arc. But
yeah, sure. So he heals, but at this point he hasn't healed yet, right?
Well, we just see blood on his clothes. We don't know at what point he starts or stops healing, so I don't.
No, you said he's bleeding from multiple. You said he's bleeding from multiple areas.
Yeah, when he starts the engagement, and then all we see is the blood still on his shirt later. But it's like we see it still on his shirt even after we know he healed, so we just don't really know. Like the blood obviously just soaked into his shirt. We don't know if he's still bleeding from the same places.
You think he's popping RCT as he's like mid fade?
Do we see characters do that plenty of times? Also, just any break during the fight he can use. Obviously, like if they back up from each other for 2 seconds, he can just.
No!
I don't think they ever do that, but repeat, fade.
Yeah, also if Yuta and Rika are rel, which is like what I've been arguing, then there's no real issue in saying that Ryu is rel to both.
If Rika and Ryu are rel? No, but I don't
If Rika and Yuta are rel, then there's no issue in saying Ryu is rel to both Rika and Yuta.
I don't think Yuta's rel. I think Yuta's implied to be stronger.
Stronger than Rika?
Yeah. No, sorry, the opposite way. Rika's stated to be stronger.
Tougher?
Stronger too.
Where do you think it's stated that she's stronger than Yuta?
So he gets damage visibly, and then he goes, I've still got an appetite that calls for an extra large helping. And then he kind of disengages from Yuta to fight her, so he's really just trying to, like, satiate his hunger with, like, I guess, meals that are fit for him. And
wait, no, he doesn't turn away from Yuta. Yuta stops fighting him to go fight Uro.
Let me peep.
Yeah, at the start of, I think it's like 178, we see Yuta has Rika launch him after Uro.
Oh wait, what am I talking about? Hold on, it's still the same exact shit. I know Yuta can heal, but you literally said that at this point Ryu's very damaged, right? And then Ryu in that same damage state is able to fuck up Rika.
They both have reverse curse stated.
Ryu hasn't popped it at this point. Oh wait, no, that doesn't matter. Hold on, no, your point is that damage scales into the end of the fight. So what do you mean like the reverse cure technique doesn't come into play? What are you talking about?
Huh?
Do you want me to like run you back through it? Okay, so your initial claim, I said he gets hit by his beam before, it doesn't do much damage. You followed up with, I think the damage just builds up. So if you're saying he reverse curse technique the damage away, then that'd be like in denial of your point.
No, I was just saying a conjunction of damage on that level is enough to win a fight. I didn't say that specific damage lasts the end of the fight. I said conjunction of damage on that level is enough to win a fight. So if he keeps taking hits like that, he'll lose.
Well, no, yeah, but what was that in reference to?
That was just to say you were trying to make the case that he didn't really take any damage from his beam. I said that damage is significant insofar as if he keeps taking hits like that, he'll eventually lose.
Okay, and what is so that's exactly what I'm talking about. So I said he takes his beam at the end and gets hoed because he's weakened. You said he's not weakened. I said he takes his hit earlier and he's fine. And you said, oh, it's a buildup of damage. That's why the last one hoes him so bad. So I'm saying that's in complete denial of this RCT point, right? Those are two very
he takes a bunch of damage from a bunch of characters throughout the fight. So it's like some conjunction of all the damage taken throughout the fight. It's not to say that one instance in the beginning of the fight is a direct contributor.
Well, I thought you said he RCTs it away. But if he RCTs it away, how does that follow?
How is it if he RCTs specific damage away, then why does it follow that a later conjunction of damage caused him to lose? Wait.
So you're saying he heals, but he doesn't heal it away? Like what? Wait, what? Okay, no. Let me put it this way. What's the condition that's met for him to heal once, but not like these other times?
There are times at which it's going to be efficient and inefficient to heal. I'm saying we do not know if he did or did not heal here. All I'm saying is you trying to make the case that he's significantly more damage than Yuta because Yuta can heal doesn't make any sense because Ryu can also.
So what inefficiencies do you think like would lead to? I don't see why it'd ever be inefficient to not heal.
Because it costs 26% energy to heal. It's like incredibly taxing. It's stated a bunch of times.
But we know what's his face pops it a bunch of times, Yuta, and we know that
Yuta has way more cursed energy than Ryu and can also refill his cursed energy entirely.
Okay, so I guess it stands to reason that at this point it should make sense because we literally see like nothing change. That Ryu should be holding back to the same degree. All right, I'm sorry, not RCTing to the same degree because I don't see any condition that's met for him to change that really. Because he doesn't really take damage after the fact, right? Ryu doesn't get damaged after the Rika shit. He never gets hit.
Rika shit at the end of the fight when she like caves his head in?
Yeah, he never gets hit after he gets punched in the face once, and he doesn't cave his head in.
His head gets fucking deformed and his stomach gets blown up by Yuta.
What?
Yeah, we get a panel of Yuta.
Are you talking about the very end of the fight after like it's a one-on-one?
Yeah. What do you mean he never takes any more damage? He has to block a beam with his hand. He then gets his stomach blown the fuck up by Yuta, and then he gets his head caved in by Rika.
I don't think
he's gushing blood out of his fucking skull.
Oh wait, so again, bro, I don't really think you're getting the like progression of points here. So I'm gonna bring it back to like an earlier point. You said that a reason he can damage Ryu is because he hits Ryu with his own beam, which we know he can replicate, and it damages Ryu.
He also just punches Ryu and it does damage.
Okay. So, do you see where I'm lost? Like, what points are you pushing for?
What do you mean, what points
okay, so initially, it seems to be like an entirely different, like, argument, but... So, to be clear, you're dropping the fact that what's his face? You're dropping the fact that his beam could damage Ryu, right?
No, the beam demonstrably just scales to Ryu's beam. That can damage Ryu.
No, you're like, oh, Ryu. I'm saying I said he can't really damage Ryu to any significant degree. You said, oh my god, we see the beam literally one-shot him. And I'm like, and then that's how we got into the whole thing. So I'm saying, like, if you're saying it's an accumulation of damage...
He just loses to the beam. What the fuck? Obviously, if he can do a big enough accumulation of damage to beat the guy in a fight, then he can damage him.
Okay, so the beam itself can't do this damage, right? Okay, but...
The beam itself can't do all of the damage from the entirety of the fight? No, but can the beam do significant enough damage? Yes.
So we can move from there. So I think it's just like, we know that you use cursed energy to reinforce your defenses. It literally doesn't make sense that with such a low amount he can't pop his technique. You can intuit that he still has his full capabilities in terms of defense.
He never has such a low amount that he can't pop his technique. The reason that he can't pop his technique following the domain clash is because when you use a domain expansion, you imbue your cursed technique within the barrier. He imbued his technique within the barrier and then it broke, thus there's a cooldown on using his technique. This is true of anybody regardless of damage.
Wait, no, I don't think that's the case. I think it has to do with, I think it's literally stated that Yuta gets his back due to cursed energy. What are we talking about?
He gets what back due to cursed energy?
Yeah, okay. There we go. No, I'm trying to find it. I think it's literally implied that it's a curse energy thing.
What are you looking for?
Shut the fuck up, Joe.
Bro, you're such
I'm just
a
at the end
faggot,
of the
bro.
fight, so it's not a big deal.
You're talking about like right after the domain clash, right? Just to be clear.
Yeah, I'm talking post-domain clash. It's only like 2 chapters, that's why I'm just reading through it real quickly. But yeah, I literally remember it being implied it's a curse energy thing.
I don't even think it's implied he has. I don't even think it's ever implied that he can't use this curse technique.
No, it is, it is.
The only
you
thing I
looking for a
see
stat or something?
following the domain clash is it being stated that with or without his curse technique, his beams are the same power.
Yeah, why do you think that's stated? When we know these people can't use their curse techniques.
No, it's literally he just it's
Yeah,
shown
so
that it's a granite blast, which is his curse technique.
That's
The
clearly
exact
not
same
true.
panel where it talks about the exact same panel where it talks about his beams being the same strength regardless of whether or not he's using a curse technique. He literally uses a curse technique.
That literally doesn't make sense. Are we sure Granite Blast is like the name of his curse technique? Because it literally doesn't follow that. It's stated he can use the same or not the same power, and then immediately after he pops what it's talking about. Like I feel like if something says that, it clearly has to be talking about him popping it without the curse technique, right? Or else like the conditions just aren't there for him.
His curse technique is called cursed energy discharge.
Yeah, that's what I just found too. The Granite Blast shit is entirely different. It literally talks about it, and then it says this right after he pops an energy beam. So I take it to be the case that he just pops he pops a normal energy beam, and it states that it shouldn't be too debilitating to him in an AP aspect because of this. But it doesn't ever show that he can pop his curse technique. I think it's
Wait, so
actually
where is the
implied
implication that he can't use his curse technique?
He's been using it the whole fight. It doesn't make sense that right after a domain clash.
Now we don't know whether or not he's been using it because Granite Blast is not indicative of curse techniques. Now we don't even have a basis to say.
No. I'm saying no. We do have a basis. There's a clear basis for it. He pops a beam, and then they immediately follow up with he can do this. He can do the same amount of damage for the first time in the fight. By the way, they follow up with he can do the same amount of damage, albeit not having his curse technique. So. Or without using his curse technique. So it makes sense that it would be in reference to this. No? What do you... I don't really see the argument here.
But the argument is just going to be that whether or not we get insight at a given point in time, it's not indicative of this being the only case where this happens. So this could just be the point in time in which we're given this insight. Or that we know he can still use Granite Blast without his curse technique. Doesn't say anything about the previous instances.
Why would they give us this insight?
Not even the in-series characters would know.
Wait, why do you think they give us this insight?
To get more insight as to what they mean when they say he has the highest curse energy output in the culling games?
No, that doesn't change anything because his curse energy output would effectively be the same. That doesn't change that statement at all.
Yeah, it's to elaborate
What
that it's
changes?
not in reference to his curse technique. It's just generally he can shoot beams that are stronger than anybody else.
What? But that doesn't change the statement though, does it?
No, why would it need to change the statement? Why does the point in time in which we're given the insight correlate to this being the first time that he's used the beam? I don't even think that's intuitive.
No, it 100% is intuitive because he uses the beam with his curse energy, and then after the domain clash, in which we know characters can't use their curse technique, we see that he gets a statement after popping something that looks kind of like his curse technique, which says, "Oh yeah, by the way, he can just fire strong enough beams with or without his."
It doesn't even look kind of like his curse
clearly-
technique. It's identical visually to his curse technique with the
Yeah, in
exact
terms,
same
okay,
line
they
of
have the
dialogue.
exact same power. That's fine. But his curse
Okay,
technique.
and do you remember what your initial argument was?
Yeah, 100. Yeah. Do you want me to restate it or?
Yeah, just to make sure, because this. Granting he can use the same
so we know.
output,
I'll lay it out super simply. We know after the fact of the domain clashes, they're running low on cursed energy. Even someone as strong as Yuta.
Wait, how do we know they're low on cursed energy?
Curse technique is different. We know domain expansions pop most of your cursed energy.
No, we don't.
We do.
Where is that ever stated?
Could someone send that statement? I have no clue as to where that statement is, but I.
He's talking about the Mega Me
Me
one, where he says you can't use it multiple times in a day.
Yeah, that's because of the damage it deals to your brain. This is elaborated on the Gojo versus Kuna fight.
Do we know that to be the case? Can someone show that?
Yeah, when you're imbuing your curse technique into a barrier and then it gets fucking destroyed, it deals damage.
Yeah, it does damage the brain.
It does, but well, you have to, let me see if I can.
No, I'm saying. Well, I'm not saying does it not damage the brain. I'm saying, is there no statements about the usage? Because I remember it being stated as like a disgusting amount of usage.
I don't think he says it's because.
Well, not the Megan statement directly. I'm saying.
That's the
I'll
only
look for it too while we talk about it. There's no other statements about domain.
I don't think there's any statements specifically relaying that it like costs a bunch of curse energy. We just know you can't use it a bunch of times.
Are you?
I'll check.
But obviously, if domain expansion costed a bunch of curse energy, then it wouldn't be considered like an advantageous technique. It'd be like more of a fight ender than something people open up fights with. Wouldn't make sense to start by spending all your curse energy.
It still makes sense to open up fights with it.
And why? When you're forced to fight in a domain for a vast majority of the fight in which you have no cursed energy because you just spent a vast majority of it, it seems really unintuitive to start a fight using that technique.
If it just wins the fight off the rip, it does. You don't have to exert yourself more than you need to. But
it would literally be the highest level of exertion under your view.
Yeah, that's fine. So you don't have to. Okay, so let me give you the. Okay, if you're fighting, you know you can't win without a curse technique. Popping your curse technique first would save more energy if you win the fight that way. Because the other interpretation or the other possibility is you fight, then you pop your curse technique, which expends more curse energy overall.
We just see characters. We just see characters open fights against characters they're completely unfamiliar with by starting with a domain expansion.
We know that you can sense aura, and
you can sense curse energy quantity and like some attributes about it.
So they could make decisions based off that. That's fine.
Okay, so would those decisions not be ill-informed? Granted, curse energy quantity is like one of like 4 major things that play a role into your strength. It's like one of 4. It's not even the most important.
I'm sorry, I'm not fully listening because I got to the domain area. Yeah. All right, I'm sorry. Can you continue?
Yo, Gizbob, continue, man.
What is it? I thought you were looking for something. What else is there? Because your whole point was that he's nerfed here by using a ton of curse energy, but it's like just directly stated that he's still at the same level of power, at the very least AP
wise. Is it?
Oh well, yeah. Sure. It just says that the beam
he can exert the same amount of AP. That's fine.
Okay, and the mechanism by which you generate AP is just going to be the speed at which the beam travels. So similarly as attacks are similarly as fast.
Yeah, so he's able to output the same amount of curse energy, that's fine, but we know he's like able to tank his blows, so my question is why would his reinforcement be the same, especially if he is expending even more energy on blasts, right?
Oh, because I don't think reinforcement uses curse energy. I don't think you can tire out from coating your body in curse energy. It's not an actual expenditure of curse energy.
Well, if he has less to coat himself with, right? Do you disagree?
I don't think you coat yourself with a significant amount either.
Do we have any justification for that? Because I'm pretty sure they do state that what's his name? Yuta's like incredibly durable because he has so much cursed energy to coat himself with. Like they kind of do say it's because his vast amount of cursed energy.
Yeah, he's a unique case. This is like highlighted very, very explicitly when they talk about Yuta scaling. Yuta is unique insofar as he has so much cursed energy that it can waste it on stuff like that. Other characters can't do that.
Wait, so to be clear, you said that for one, it's not a waste or it's not an expenditure, but now you're saying that it is expended when you reinforce yourself with cursed energy. That's like 2 conflicting claims right there.
Hello? My audio cut out for a second.
I'm sorry, bro. I'll repeat it. I said that seems to be 2 conflicting claims because you're saying that for one, you can't expend energy on reinforcing yourself, and now you're saying you can. That seems to be like
no. It's what I spoke in reference to with Yuta isn't going to be expenditure. It's just going to be coating his body in a greater quantity of curse energy. He's not expending that curse energy. He's using more for the coating. That's all it is.
Yeah, that's fine. So I can't. Other characters do that?
Other characters have less curse energy than Yuta. Thus, it's less efficient. Yuta has curse energy to waste because he has so much. Other characters don't have that much.
Wait, I don't think coating yourself... Well, you just said it doesn't expend it, so I don't think it's a waste. I think the word waste
It is a waste because you have less to use for other things.
Can you just repurpose it afterwards?
If it's not being wasted, and then you no longer have that energy to reinforce yourself with, so you have a drastic stat drop off later in the fight. Sure,
yeah, that's fine. Okay, so basically, using 100% to like reinforce yourself, slowly it drops throughout the fight. Let's say to a level where now you're at like 10% reinforcement. You think that's worse, mind you? There's no other drawbacks. You think that's worse than starting at 10% reinforcement and keeping it there the whole fight? You think so?
We just see that's what characters do. We don't ever see like drastic stat changes for the most part as fights progress.
I don't know if
It seems to be intuitive in series at the very least. Like we see characters fight for like a Gojo and Sukuna is a really good example. They fight for like an incredibly long time and stats don't change at all. Basically any other fight in JJK, we see characters consistently go rel throughout the entirety of a fight.
Wait, stats could definitely be changing. They could just both be getting weaker. What are we talking about?
They could both be. Gojo doesn't lose any cursed energy.
Oh, you're right. Gojo actually doesn't lose any cursed energy. You're right about that. Couldn't it just be the fact that they're both so strong that they're not expanding very much? Because we know in Gojo's case he's 100% not doing that, and in Sukuna's case I don't know if he'd be.
We know Sukuna is very efficient, but if this were the way that people fought within the series, or at the very least skilled sorcerers fought within the series, at some point we'd expect to see Sukuna's stats fall below Gojo's, because we know they're rel at the start of the fight, at least in terms of physicals. Gojo can lose 0 curse energy, Sukuna loses some given amount under your view. If that's how it goes, then eventually Sukuna just will be slower and weaker than him. But
yeah,
that's just not true.
I don't know if it's to any consequential degree. That's kind of what the argument is.
You don't know if it's to any consequential degree?
Yeah.
But your own argument is relying on curse energy expenditure from domain expansion being
you just said that.
and he uses his domain like 5 times.
No. That's not my argument. My argument is just that what's it called? That domain is some expenditure, but if you're more efficient with it, obviously it's going to take less, right? And you said that Sukuna's known as like super efficient with it. Like
he's generally very efficient. But
yeah, so
your initial claim regarding why Ryu would be low on curse, it was him using domain expansion because quote domain expansions take up a vast majority of
it was him not being able to pop curse technique after domain expansion.
Yeah, that's not. We get an explanation for that. It's not indexed to curse energy loss. It's indexed to you imbuing your curse technique within a barrier.
Yeah, I was asking for the explanation, and we also see that like
Astro sent it earlier.
We also do that they all start getting like weaker after the fact.
I know you asked for it earlier, but I got the scan where it says it takes like curse energy.
Yeah, I saw that the Gojo one.
The Inamaki states it.
Also, keep post domain expansion construction. We actually see characters get significantly stronger and faster rather than weaker. But under your view, we'd expect to see them get weaker because they just used a bunch of curse energy that they were previously using for reinforcement. Dagon is like a really good example. He gets much stronger and faster after using domain.
Well, yeah, while he's in the domain, doesn't the domain amp you? Isn't that like a key part of the domain?
The domain amps you, but then it would be counterbalanced by you losing a ton of the previous reinforcement that you had.
Yeah, so I think the domain, the reason people pop domain instead of just using their curse energy is because the domain has like multiplicative, like it has different factors that aren't really seen in normal fights. So I guess like if he pops domain, has some sort of
the only extra factor is your sure hit technique. It's like the only additional benefit for most domain expansions. Some work a little bit differently, but most of the time it's usually just sure hit.
I know sure hit is something, but are we sure it's highlighted as like the only thing? Not really sure, because linear scaling, right? Because we know domain expansions have weird properties. So I'm saying under that view.
Wait, what weird properties have?
Sure hit. You don't think sure hit's like a weird property?
Well, no, it's the same curse technique that you're always able to use, or like some application of the curse technique that you have, but it just can't miss. That's really all it is.
Exactly. So it's like some weird property. The sure hit part.
If you think that's like a weird property, sure. What is the correlation between that and like the broader point though?
So I'm saying if we know like there's these weird things that don't really conform to the normality of it, I think the stat buff is fine. It could just be like they get a greater boost from whatever cursed energy is used with the domain. With the domain.
Okay, so you think the stat buff provided by domain is superior to the whatever you're losing from its cost?
Yeah.
Okay, and then is there like any basis for that? Is it just like this could be the case?
Yeah, I low-key just like think that's true because I hear everybody arguing about it, so I'm like, oh shit, surely it is. And under my worldview, that'd be like the only instance in which that makes sense. So I just take that to like probably be the case.
Fucking slam. Wait, what is? You hear people argue. What does that mean? Like when you say you hear people arguing about it, what is that like speaking in reference to? Like,
Oh shit, there's two of you. Debates I've heard.
well, no. I get that, but like what have you heard that makes you think like the stat buff is super big? Like if there's like some like intuitive thing here that I'm.
Oh no.
getting.
There just is a stat buff. That's the only thing I'm like pretty sure of because it usually doesn't get contested.
The stat buff is indexed to like an environmental advantage. I don't even think that's true of like every domain. I think there are some domains in which you don't even get a stat buff.
Okay, wait. So that goes kind of perfectly along with my point. I don't.
Well,
that's
it doesn't go perfectly along with your point. It would put them at a major stat disadvantage that we don't see. That's my whole point.
No, I definitely don't think so.
Well, yeah, granted, their
We
environment
see
does
that-
not
we see
improve
that-
their stats, then
Well,
they would just
no,
be
no.
experiencing a stat drop off under your view.
Well, no, that's not really the case. They're still enveloped by their cursed energy. I'm saying the difference is with an environmental effect. That's like some weird change I'm talking about where we see like a net neutral, we see a positive, right? We see them like reach new heights, I guess, or just faster, stronger, or both.
And
So I'm saying under the case where they don't have like these weird environmental advantages, it just be like a net neutral. They just stay like about the same power. Maybe like
Wait,
slightly.
why would it? No. Under your view, it cannot be a net neutral because again, they're using the
100%
curse energy
can.
they were previously. No. They're using the curse energy that they were previously using to reinforce themselves to construct the domain. So now that curse energy is gone, thus they can't reinforce themselves to the same extent.
No,
under your
you
view.
don't think the domain carries their cursed energy?
What do you mean it carries their? It's a construct made of curse energy. Once the curse energy is changed to a construct, it's not still curse energy that you can freely manipulate. It's just the construct.
Then how does the sure that doesn't really follow because the sure hit has to follow or it has to work under some
Yeah, the sure hit
energy aid.
function is your curse technique is imbued within the barrier, thus it can auto track to anything within the barrier.
Due to the cursed energy, right?
What do you mean due to the curse energy?
The cursed energy inside of it, inside of the barrier.
No, there isn't curse energy inside of the barrier. The barrier is a construct made of curse energy.
so,
it's no longer just
okay.
curse energy. It's
So
not construct.
if it's just the dome, then it doesn't make sense that your technique are guaranteed to hit the person.
It
curse energy has to be-
it tracks the
has to
person
be
in
on the
question's curse
person.
energy.
It tracks their, but we don't see. That doesn't make sense. We don't see the people flying into walls, do we?
What? No.
I'm so
The sure hit tracks the curse energy of people within your domain.
and hits them, right?
Yes, it hits people based
So there is
on their
So there
own
is
curse
some-
energy.
So there is some no, but how does it? No, but it doesn't hit them with their own cursed energy. It hits them with yours. So I'm saying
No, it hits them with
energy
your
is
curse technique, which has been imbued within the
that
barrier.
domain. Your cursed energy is necessarily imbued within that barrier. Is what I'm saying.
No, your curse technique is what's imbued within the barrier.
Yeah, your cursed energy is too,
Why?
because that's how it's hitting it.
No, the curse technique is the mechanism
Okay,
for which it hits.
let me be this way. Do you think cursed techniques take cursed energy?
Yeah, they take curse energy, but once they are in effect, which is the curse technique, then they're no longer cursed energy. They're just a curse technique.
I don't see why. Well, I think they're built up from cursed energy. No, am I lost?
No, they
At that point, there's like
derivative
okay,
of cursed energy.
so it's something. Yeah, okay, perfect. So it's a derivative of cursed energy. So I'm saying a domain expansion takes cursed energy and your curse technique. I think that's sent in the scan that whatever his name is sent about the whole like a lot of CE expenditure. So I'm saying in that same case, it is a construct, but within that construct is your like cursed energy. That's how you attack the person. You use your curse technique and it goes to the person. But it has like some weird way of manipulating so that it like surely hits. I don't really care about.
That's just what's in question, though. Okay, if you turn your curse energy into both the construct, and the construct is imbued with again your curse energy, that being the technique. There's not any curse energy left. All you've made is your domain, and it's imbued with your curse technique. Your curse technique, which is already an active effect, right? When you activate your curse technique, like in the case of Gojo's blue or whatever, you make a blue.
So hold on, wait,
curse
how do
energy
you-
anymore, it's a blue. So the barrier would be imbued with the blue, I guess, in this case, which the blue would hit.
No, you're not getting it. How do you? So for the cursed energy to have a guaranteed hit, it must be on the person, right? But we
What do
see
you mean
that
it must be on the person?
like whoever you're attacking. For it to be like instantaneous, isn't it like some instantaneous thing? Because if not, they could just block it, right? As it's okay, if it was just cursed techniques, let me put it this way: an attack comes to me, I can block it. The only way I couldn't block it is if it either materialized on me or there was already cursed energy over there, which it used to go to.
Yeah,
so I'm saying it necessarily
on you
must
because
also-
the curse technique is already imbued within the entirety of the barrier. The curse technique is everywhere within the barrier.
It's everywhere within the... No, we see cursed techniques to be some visible thing. I think it's the cursed energy that's everywhere that then turns into the cursed technique. That makes more sense. That follows. Because cursed techniques we see are visible within the verse. You're not getting it, bro.
Wait,
I'm saying, okay, your cursed technique is imbued into the barrier. There's cursed energy in the barrier. The cursed energy manifests the technique to hit whoever you're hitting on them. That's how it happens. Because if not, we'd see whatever color your cursed technique is, we'd see that everywhere. If it must necessarily always be able to hit them, right? So that doesn't make sense. So it has to be the case that it's cursed energy.
Because the curse technique is everywhere, it has to be manifested everywhere at the same time?
No, but we'd have to... Well, how's it everywhere? How's it everywhere and nowhere at once? That doesn't make sense.
But it's not everywhere and nowhere at once. It's within the barrier and then it manifests the effect.
It's within... Wait, no, I think the curse... You just said the curse technique is the manifested version.
Yeah. So the effect goes from non-tangible to tangible. It's not that complex. It's explained in verbatim too how you make a domain expansion. Nothing about the explanation regarding domain expansion indicates that we have curse energy everywhere, your curse energy everywhere within the barrier. Also, you do realize this circles back to like your stat amps, right? Even granting that curse energy was everywhere within the barrier or whatever, it's not coating your body. It's within the barrier. So this wouldn't even correlate back to your initial point. It's like
you don't think it can coat your body?
No, I don't think you can take it back out of the barrier to coat your body with. No.
I think it can coat your body. I don't see why you wouldn't be able to manipulate your own cursed energy.
Okay, and you don't think that fails on parsimony at all to tell me that this extra additional function is a part of domain expansion. It's never explained, and characters always use it, but we have no indication.
Well, it'd be the same as the whole cursed energy to cursed technique thing. It's just something you rationalize.
Well, this seems less rational to me because it posits much more. That's why I'm confused.
I don't think it posits much more. It's your CE. I don't see why you're not free to control it. I think the only thing about at that point, what about the environmental advantages? Do you think buffs their stats?
I think a good example would be Dagon is a fucking fish, and his domain is a bunch of water, so he can just swim around.
Yeah, but he doesn't swim around, right?
He does. We see him go through the water, but we also see him on the islands and stuff like that.
Yeah, so I'm saying, but like, is Dagon the case of it? I remember the environmental advantage having to do with Jogo. Am I tripping? Or like, who did it necessarily have? Like, I remember it having to do with Jogo. In Jogo's case,
when he's fighting Jogo.
Yeah, so in Jogo's case, it literally doesn't make sense unless it has to do with like CE. So I'm literally saying they take like just having like fire around Jogo shouldn't make him like way faster or like faster at all. It literally has to do something with CE and him being able to manipulate it to amp his stats.
Well, it's like necessarily must follow. In a video game, it doesn't say about every single stat. To be very clear, the buff for Jogo, with his domain being imbued with heat constantly or being like a very hot environment, it just makes the process of heat transfer much easier. So when Jogo tries to light you on fire, the process is much, much faster because you're already fucking very hot.
Is that the case for all of them? Or are we just...
That was my entire point, is that there are some domains in which this is probably untrue.
Yeah, but I'm talking about for the environmental ones, because I'm saying if they all have some sort of environmental advantage, and you said like it should apply to stats, because that was kind of losing question when you brought it up. You said only they should. Then I'm saying that what I said like must follow. Like it literally has to make sense.
Wait, what do you think that you said that must follow?
The fact that they can interact with the CE they have within the barrier.
Interact with it insofar as manifest a curse technique onto a target?
Well, yeah. So how do you think they do that? I have a question.
The same way you would activate your curse technique normally, if you just activate it on top of the target as opposed to like right on your hand or whatever. Like the same way when you fire from his hand, you just activate it on their body.
So they pre-imbue the CT, and then now they're able to manifest the CT by manipulating the C. So I'm saying, like, where in there do you say, oh, yeah, they...
Well, I think it's manipulation of CE as opposed to just manipulation of the curse technique.
Yeah, okay, so that circles back to CE is invisible, CT is visible. So if it was CT and it is everywhere, we would be able to see it, right? Obviously, it's CE that they then manifest into CT during the fight. Like, it has to be.
Wait, no, the argument that CE is invisible and CT is visible follows if I'm arguing that they've activated the curse technique and their active curse technique is imbued everywhere within the domain.
Yeah, but their CE is, right?
Their CE is? No, that's what's in question.
No, it's not. What? Okay, so let me run you back by it again. It's literally just the CE within the domain is used to activate your CT wherever the CE is on the person. That's how it's able
that's
to
your view.
sure hit. Okay, how would you explain the sure hit? There's no way to reconcile that other than that.
But
There's literally no way to
reconcile. It's a very easy way to reconcile it. It's the curse technique is imbued within the barrier, right? So the curse technique, like let's say for example, like Jogo's fire, we know the applications of this curse technique or manipulations of the curse technique are just going to be like shooting fucking lava at somebody, creating a volcano, meteor, all these sorts of things. So the curse technique itself is imbued within the barrier. He can activate whatever the given sure hit technique is, which is like a very specific attack usually. He can activate that on anybody within the domain. If it was just his curse energy present throughout the entirety of the domain, if it's just curse energy that was able to be freely manipulated, we wouldn't have a specific sure hit attack. Every attack would be sure hit because he could manifest any given attack within his arsenal on somebody's body whenever he wants to.
No, that's not true. I think that's why they have to imbue their CT too. Because obviously, like you're not going to be able to manipulate it if it's like not near you. But the whole argument like fails under the like. You said it's infused into the, because I'm like really lost here. Somehow it's infused into the dome, right? But then it like manifests on somebody. What do you think is the catalyst that lets that happen? Do you think it's something devoid of CE? I think it has to be CE. I think what happens is...
I don't think it's devoid of CE. I don't think it's devoid of CE.
The dome has the ability, so the dome they craft has the ability, because it's imbued with their CT, to use their CE to manifest the CT anywhere. That's my interpretation. I think that's the only one that reconciles invisibility.
Yeah, but your interpretation would entail that quite literally any utilization of this curse technique could be imbued, or not imbued, but activated anywhere within the barrier. So every technique
I literally don't think so. I literally don't think so.
Okay, so Godly, what you initially argued, because this is all about them being able to amp their stats, right, was that they can freely manipulate the curse energy that is throughout the entirety of the barrier, right?
No. It has to, like, I don't think if it's, like, at the other point of the barrier, they're manipulating it. I don't think that makes sense.
But we see that they can use the sure hit on people at the other side of the barrier.
Yeah, that's fine, because that's a conditional with the CT. That's what I'm saying.
What is the conditional there?
That they infuse their CT to it, so their CT is connected to all the CE around the area.
So their CT is connected to all the CE around the area?
Yeah.
Right? So that means they can use their CT within anywhere in the barrier, right?
Exactly.
Okay, and that's where the contradiction comes in, because if they can do that, then any utilization of this broad curse technique would be fine to use on anyone, anywhere in the barrier. So you can just instantly spawn any application of your curse technique on them. Gojo could just insta-fucking-purple Sukuna.
If that's what he infuses with his domain, then yeah. But I don't think
they imbue it with the curse technique, which would, like, it just categorically includes every utilization of the curse technique. When I imbue something with my curse technique, any utilization of that curse technique would be present.
And I think at that point the author fucked up, and it's a no limits fallacy, because clearly the curse technique having to be, I guess, put into the barrier is indicative of that. It is indicative that that's the metrics as to which it works. Like, that literally has to follow. If that's the only way that, if literally that's the only way that it can logically follow, then I think it is that way. We're saying, then it'd be like some sort of no limit thing. I'd say the author just fucked up, and it's a no limits fallacy. He didn't state it clearly enough.
Well, okay. If you think it's a fuck up on the author, then I'm sure you get where that sort of theory would fail on parsimony, right? Because you have to posit the author fucked up or like it did something wrong, but my explanation of the events doesn't have to do that. So you're just positing extra.
Your explanation doesn't really reconcile the whole like not being able to see the curse technique. Wait, if you just think it's the curse technique imbued everywhere.
It does. Okay, so the mechanism by which you use the curse technique, generally speaking, is you flow C into the brain activates the curse technique, and then from there, you use an application of the curse technique. So there's CE, activation, application. I think everywhere within the barrier is at that activation stage, and then what we see is the application, right? The activation isn't something that's visible.
Wait, no, but how do you think you applicate it? I think the application of it. Sorry, not applicate. Sorry, that was a miss. But I think how you activate it is by then, so you have it in your brain, then you use CE to actually release it. Like you release the CE.
Well, no. We get like a direct explanation, right? So using Chris
can you
techniques
send that?
directly. Yeah, I'll see if I can find it. You have the panel where they.
If you can just remember it, you can tell me.
Okay, well, they analogize utilizing curse techniques to like electronics, right? So the curse energy is the power, like the electricity that comes to the outlet.
Yeah, I got it.
Yeah, and
Yo, John, no one after bitch ass.
so your curse energy is the electricity, right? The curse technique itself, like the activation, would just be turning on the given device, and then the application that I'm speaking in reference to is like the things that can be done with the device. So let's say you use your curse energy to power like a fucking iPad, for example. You can open any given app on the iPad. What we're really doing here is when we do the curse technique within the domain, the entire domain has access to any app on the iPad. You just choose what app to use, and when you use the app, then that application is just visible. That's the only part that's visible.
My bad. Can you repeat that, bro?
I was thinking
No, I got you.
I ain't gonna lie. I definitely went to go read like the whole fight after the domain clash. But yeah, you can repeat it. My bad.
Okay, yeah. So utilizing curse techniques is just analogized to like electronics, right? So the power is the curse energy, right? The power for an electronics. Yeah, let's say have a device plugged in. The energy running from the fucking outlet to the device is the curse energy, right? The device itself is the curse technique. And then like for example, just use like an iPad or whatever. An iPad has a bunch of different apps. The apps are just going to be applications or things you can do with the device.
I read it. My bad. Yeah. He sent it. So yeah, it literally goes as like what I follows, as what I stated. Sorry, it literally doesn't say anything about that. Like, how do you think the curse technique, which is used with cursed energy, and Jujutsu is necessarily tied to cursed energy, how do you think that gets to somebody, right?
It's just going to follow under the like electronic example, I guess. So you power the device. The device is now on, and then with that device, there are like a set number of things you can do. Once you decide which one of those things to do, the device does that thing, and that thing that we get at the very end is just going to be the application of curse technique that we see. So like, let's say Gojo powers this limitless. He can choose to do red, blue, purple, whatever. He chooses to do red. Once he's chosen to do red, the curse technique goes to activate red. Then we see something. We don't see anything prior to that.
it should be like
Yeah, but what do you think? No. That's not what I'm talking about. That's entirely different. I'm gonna ask it. I guess in a more clear way. Do you think? I'll ask you point blank. Do you think that what is used to carry that technique to wherever like the sure hit range is C?
What do you mean to carry the technique? No, I don't think the technique is carried by anything.
So in your brain, let's say for Ryu's example, in his brain he thinks of like the beam, however he's gonna use it, and then he fires the beam. So the curse energy that he's been building up into a technique gets fired through him. So the CE gets fired through him, and that's how it travels. So I'm saying, how do you think it travels to the person for it to be a sure hit? It's CE. There's no other like factor that makes sense. It has to be CE.
No, I think we're kind of like going in a circle here. So it's more so just like, I think like a good example would be maybe Mahito's domain would be like a really good example, right? So for Mahito's domain, or for Mahito's curse technique, right? When he touches you, he activates his curse technique. When he activates his curse technique, he can then do whatever he wants with the soul of whoever he's touching, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And that's not reliant on CE, because if Mahito could just flow his CE at you and that was enough to manipulate your soul, he would just shoot CE at people and fucking one-shot them. But he doesn't ever try that. He doesn't ever do that.
Well, no.
Right? So it's obviously not just
I'm
CE.
saying it's through CE. But yeah, the curse technique is something that utilizes CE, yes.
Well, it utilizes CE, it's no longer CE in the same way like a device utilizes electricity, but what it outputs is not electricity, nor it's like an entirely separate effect, right? So if you power on a hairdryer, what you get is like the warm air coming out of the hairdryer. You don't get electricity on the other end.
Yeah, but you're not understanding. I'm saying, like, I get that it's different. Like, I guess it's still tough from CE, but it turns into like whatever you manifest it into. But I'm saying,
no, it goes into this device, which is the curse technique. So once it activates the curse technique, it's not curse energy anymore.
In Mahito's case, what he does is he hits you, or like he I guess, says, "Oh, I'm finna do this," then he releases the technique, which is like imbued through curse energy, into you. I'm saying, what other mechanism could like? Okay, so Mahito uses his technique, which transfigures you through some like sort of CE manipulation. He manipulates it in a way that can, I guess, do something weird to you.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying though. Is like I think the mechanism is like very clear and doesn't rely on CE because again, with
it
Mahito's,
100% relies on CE.
It relies on CE insofar as that's what you need to activate a curse technique, but once it's activated, it doesn't rely on it anymore. Once a device has power, it no longer needs more power to keep doing things, or it doesn't need power
once it has the CE, it like it's fine to activate. So I'm saying,
I'm saying the entire domain is the device, right? So there's no electricity that you can freely access, but you can access all the mechanisms of the device. That's all there is to it.
The dome has the CT. How the CT gets to the person has to be through CE. That's the only mechanism that works. That's where like
we already for one, I feel like I've given a different mechanism. For two, I explained why that would create contradiction, which we kind of already
I don't think it makes contradiction because Mahito might.
You're the one that granted the author would have had to fuck up for this to be like an adequate explanation.
Oh yeah, no, I thought you were talking about the whole Mahito just gonna throw beam shit like that. That was separate, but no, I'm saying it's literally this simple. Nothing else in the series can, I guess, manifest any techniques other than CE. So if that technique isn't manifested yet, there must necessarily be CE to manifest it.
Wait, okay, so when you think somebody uses a curse technique, like let's say just Gojo uses blue, for example, you think he swirls a bunch of curse energy out, like around in the air in front of him, and then it turns into a blue, or how do you think that works?
No, so I think the CE, I think in his head contains, or like wherever he's going, contains the CE manipulated in a certain way, and then he outputs it as red, or as whatever color.
So you think the area is already imbued with cursed energy before he activates this curse technique?
Well, I think it's internal. Like he's internally like making it some sort of way, and then he, I guess like.
Well, yeah, if you think it's internal and he makes the red and then can freely move the red around, then that's not any different than what I'm saying.
No, it definitely is because I'm saying, how do you think they do that in Yuta's case or in Ryu's case? That's why I gave the Ryu example. Ryu makes the CE in his head, and then he turns it into his technique, and then he just fires it. So. What necessarily
no. Ryu's technique is not even that complex. Ryu's technique is like explicitly very, very simple. All his technique does is allow him to discharge curse energy from any part of his body.
I used a simple example. Yeah.
Well, yeah, but the mechanism isn't even what you described. All Ryu does is he puts curse energy into his technique. Once the technique is active, he can then shoot curse energy from any part in his body. So he just does that.
Sure. So I just said his head as an example. But yeah, so you release CE. Because your technique is comprised of CE. So I'm saying, like... No, you
release it a given effect. I don't think the effect is CE. I don't think you ever release any CE when you're using a curse technique.
CE is imbued within it.
No, CE is imbued within your curse technique. The manifested effect is not CE. It's just a manifested effect. Really good example, again, would be like Mai's curse technique. She just spawns a bullet with curse energy. The bullet is no longer curse energy.
The precondition to activating a technique is CE. That's all I'm saying.
But
obviously, like the final effect is a mix-up of like a bunch of different things, including C, but it's not like necessarily.
I don't think C is there at all. Why would C be a part of the final effect?
Because that's what you're using.
That's what's in question now.
It's stated.
We know that's what you're using. What's in question is whether or not that means that it's a part of the end result. Because it's not in the case of electronics, which again, this is like directly analogized to. Curse energy.
Make it, you need curse energy, or you need whatever like factors. Literally,
not to make activate your curse
energy. Okay, so his curse technique is imbued within the barrier.
Yep.
C is a necessary thing to manifest it.
No, I think the curse technique, the active curse technique imbued within the barrier, has already gotten the CE. It doesn't need anything else.
Okay, so you think the C is only in the dome and not in the surrounding air?
What? No. I think when you construct, so I think when you construct a domain expansion, right? You take a barrier, you obviously build a barrier with curse energy, you build an environment. Then you imbue that barrier and environment with your curse technique, your active curse technique. An active curse technique is literally just a device that has the electricity powering it already.
Okay,
So it's just a charged phone, essentially. What you're getting there is a charged phone.
Okay, so do you think he's spamming like? Because that kind of just fails to reason. Because in that case, what you're saying is like everywhere and nowhere I want to, or like everywhere. What is like a bunch of non-activated CTs? Is that what you're saying?
Well, it's the entire domain is imbued with a curse technique, meaning at any given point you can activate your sure hit anywhere you want because the power device is within the entirety of the barrier. Yeah. It's not, there's a bunch of inactive curse techniques all over the barrier. That's what the barrier is. It's what it's imbued with.
Yeah, but how does it hit anywhere within the barrier? That's what I'm saying. Because, okay, let me put it this way. You're imbued, let's say you imbued yourself with your curse technique. You're about to use it. If I were Yuta, right, and I have my curse technique manifested, let's say I'm the barrier, right, I'm some material thing, it doesn't mean that I can just, because I'm Ryu, sorry, I'm just gonna, like, place it on you with, like, devoid of seed. That literally doesn't make sense. Just because I have it manifested doesn't mean I can just throw it on you. That doesn't, like, where does that follow? I'm saying, how does it hit everywhere? It has to have some mechanism to hit everywhere.
Yeah, the mechanism is just, again, so when we analogize it to the electronic, the mechanism is just utilizing whatever active effect that you desire, whatever active effect that you can gain anywhere within the environment that can activate an effect anywhere.
Yeah, okay, so what makes... Yeah, I agree that the environment can activate the effect anywhere. I'm saying what makes that so?
But, okay, because the environment is the same as your body, essentially. When you use a curse technique, you manifest it from wherever in your body.
Okay, so no, that's where we disagree. I think the dome, like the circular area surrounding it, is your body. I don't think inside is your body. Because if it was, then that would necessarily have to be imbued with your curse technique too, right? The inside.
Yeah, I think that's how it's described. Yeah, it says you imbue the barrier with your curse
manifestation, the non-manifested CT is everywhere within the barrier. But then I'm saying that doesn't follow, because how much energy do you think would need to be expended for that? For that to be the case?
Apparently a lot, following from what Gojo says. That's kind of why we're arguing this.
Okay, so do you think characters could pop, like, thousands of CTs? Like, what am I...
What do you mean, thousands of hits?
Yeah, no, thousands of curse techniques. Just thousands of curse techniques. Because that's literally what that implies. That whole argument doesn't make sense unless the mechanism is CE. Because what you're saying is that everywhere and always at once is already pre-made CTs that haven't been popped yet. So it's like, how much CE do you think like that requires? That require like to have it everywhere? That's like thousands of.
I think what actually no. This is where we disagree. What actually uses the energy in a given device is just like the activation or the like application, right? So what actually, you can have power going into a hairdryer, right? But you're not actually using or expending the power until you bring out the hot air, right? So I don't think it costs some obscene amount of curse energy to do this. Well, what would cost an obscene amount of curse energy is to consistently use a bunch of sure hits.
Yeah, once it's out of your body, I think that's not true.
You think what's not true?
Okay, so let me put it this way. If I'm Killua, right? You know how Killua works. I have the electricity to make these hairdressers. If I'm making thousands of hairdressers, but I don't activate them, obviously those hairdressers still have that electricity, but you just, under your argument, it's devoid of you. I don't. I would lose access to that.
Well, you wouldn't lose access to it. It just wouldn't be affecting your body, which was like my entire claim from the jump. So it seems like now we're on the same page.
Can you repeat yourself? My brother was knocking on my door.
Oh, yeah. I'm saying you wouldn't entirely lose access to it. It just wouldn't be amping your body or be able to be amping your body anymore, which is like my entire point.
It's outside of your body, right?
Yeah, that's like my entire point from the jump is that you can't.
So how do you not lose access to it?
Because you can still utilize it insofar as you can manifest a sure hit technique.
Yeah, sure. So you use... Okay, so how you make these sure hit techniques everywhere...
Well, it's not a plural thing. You just make a big barrier that's imbued with a sure hit technique. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's everywhere. It has to be everywhere. Because obviously their techniques...
Yeah, but it's not multiple instances. Like, it's not like some compounding.
No, it has to be. It has to be everywhere.
Wait, why would it have to be multiple instances as opposed to one instance that can manifest anywhere? Fuck.
Because how do you manifest it? How do you manifest it? That's my question.
By activating the curse technique or netting the end all effect.
Okay, how do you... No, I'm saying how do you net that? How is that connected to you? Through what mechanism?
What do you mean? How it's your curse technique imbued with your barrier, which we know you have control over the entirety of the barrier, meaning you have control over the imbued technique.
So I think it necessary... Yeah, so that's my exact point. So if it's your barrier, you have to imbue the curse technique.
Yep.
You activate it, but it's already separate from your body. How are you activating it? Sure, if I can make like, I don't know, if I can make bubbles, that's just my weird ability. Once it's separated from me, I can't control those bubbles, right? I've already lost that. So how do you, like, what is the mechanism that does it? Because I'm literally saying that it, like, any way that you say, like, it follows, it literally doesn't make sense. It literally has to be. Okay, yeah, the sure hits are automatic, sure, because it tracks the enemy's energy. How are you activating those sure hits if it's outside of your body?
It's not automatic. That's the point. You don't have to activate it. Your barrier will automatically target anybody with curse energy inside of it and attack them with that technique. It's automatic.
So it just starts hitting them?
That's literally what it's going to do.
So it just starts hitting them without you needing to do anything?
Yeah, it just automatically attacks them.
Okay, perfect. So it is outside of you. Okay, so that's my exact point. How do you think it's able to do that everywhere? For that to happen, since it's independent of you, once you give it the energy, you'd have to imbue enough energy for it to do these things. For it to be able to hit everywhere, you'd have to have a shit ton of CTs put in. Unless CE is the mechanism that activates it. Unless that's the case, then they must already be finished for them to be pumped.
Wait, yeah, they are already finished. That's why it costs a bunch of curse energy.
Okay, so yeah, that goes back to the point. You think they're able to pop like thousands of CTs and be like...
Nobody ever pops anywhere near thousands. They don't do that many sure hit attacks. It's just not a thing.
No, not sure hits, just in general.
But no,
that's not possible. That's such a...
I think they can that was my entire point, is that it'd be contradictory if they could manifest curse techniques anywhere within the barrier. I'm saying they can't do that.
Unless CE was the predicate. If CE was the condition that led...
No. If CE existed within the barrier was the mechanism by which you activated the given technique, then you could use any application of your technique anywhere within the barrier, which is why we got into that conversation earlier and why you said...
Okay, so you're not getting it. I'm saying any other way, contradictions follow, so it makes most sense.
What is the contradiction?
If it's outside of your body and it's popping these techniques, it necessarily has to be imbued with those techniques. Do you agree or disagree?
Wait, no, it's imbued with your technique. It's imbued with
I agree. I 100% agree. That's not in denial. Yeah, okay, so where does that make sense? Because you know it's able to hit anywhere within the barrier, right?
Yeah.
And it's devoid of you. So how is it able to do that? Your technique is infinite in space. It literally has to have a bunch of techniques.
How it's able to automatically hit people. You're basically asking me how it does what it's explained to do. This is like you asking me how Gojo is able to pull things.
I'm saying the mechanism that lets it do that outside of you controlling it, right, would have to be you either powered every single one prior to the fact, or that
what do you mean when you say every single one?
Every single curse technique. Every single curse technique.
What? I'm still like kind of unclear. Yeah,
so even though they're not activated, I think it necessarily takes up the same amount as if they weren't. I think them being activated.
That's the whole point.
So I'm saying them being activated and them not being activated takes the same amount of CE within a domain.
Yes.
Okay, so you agree. So how the fuck are they able to make it to make it hit anywhere?
How are they able to make it hit anywhere within like a building size fucking construct? It doesn't sound that crazy to me.
Well, it sounds kind of crazy because some of them have small, like, for example, what's his name? Jogo's curse technique, the one that's hitting Gojo, is like some little fucking volcano. So how many volcanoes do you think would have to fit within that little ass construct? Literally, the only way that they could the only way that they could be manifested directly on you without there being like a stupid amount of them to the point where like they're basically like innumerable, if you were to like go try and count them, is literally if they're not there, the CE is just spread everywhere, and you have the
CE is spread everywhere. It's also already spent. This isn't creating a distinction.
It is, because CE is less expensive than CT.
What? No, what the fuck? CE is the currency by which you would purchase a CT. There's not a disparity in expense. It's the exact same thing.
I do think there's a disparity.
Let's just say like X.
Also, no, wait. No, hold on, I'm lost on. Wait, for a second, we were arguing this for so long, I got lost on my own argument. No, the reason that it would follow is, remember what my initial argument is, you still are able to manipulate that C. You still are able to manipulate that.
We already got into what the contradiction with that is. And we literally didn't have a contradiction. You wouldn't be able to use it to affect your body anyway.
The only contradiction to that could be a very easy oversight from the author. I said that makes more sense than a literal contradiction. That literally, like that
where is way more easily. Still have yet, like, maybe I've lost my fucking mind. There's no literal contradiction that's been pointed to me out. Like, pointed out to me thus far.
The innumerable amount of CTs that you would have to.
Would it be innumerable if you have 1 or 2 targets, or maybe 5 targets within your fucking domain? Why would it be innumerable?
Because they move.
What does that mean?
The CT has to pop on them.
CTs can move too. What the fuck? Yeah.
So the CTs are on them at all times?
You also know, it's not like you're setting up your sure hit to have to kill the people 1,000,000 times over. Sure hits are meant to be fight enders.
Yeah, that's fine. So I'm saying, like, how do you imbue enough for it to hit everywhere?
How do you imbue enough by putting whatever amount of curse energy that it would cost to do so within the barrier? That's exactly how you do it.
Exactly. Okay. So it literally circles back to the whole. It's not.
Where's the contradiction? I just gave you an explanation.
Okay, you just said. Yeah. Okay. So you just said, like, it depends on or you just make enough CTs for that. I'm literally telling you, CTs aren't infinite space, are they?
CTs aren't what?
They're not infinite in space.
Well, yeah, infinite in size? Yeah, probably not.
Yeah,
no?
My bad. Sorry, in size. They're fucking small as shit sometimes. So how the fuck are there so many CTs that can be popped in here? And any
where do you keep getting it? Because they put that much curse energy in would be the answer. But where do you keep getting this so many? Like, I don't know what you. I still like.
I don't see them. Do you think they drain when they're popping the CTs? I think the CTs is an automatic thing. They're CE.
What? No. Here's like the difference is you think like using a domain expansion is like the exact same cost as using that many sure hits.
I think holding a domain is what's taking your energy away too. Do you disagree with that?
Holding a domain is what takes away your energy.
Do you think?
In the case of a domain clash, yeah.
Okay, so why is that the case? I'm lost. Like, I'm not even like saying that as a defeater to your point. I'm literally just gonna ask you that because I don't know.
Wait. Why is it only in the case of domain? Well, that's only.
Yeah. Why is it only in the case of domain?
That's only ever brought up, or we only ever see people like constantly losing curse energy in reference to domain clashes, and that's because you have to constantly output more into your domain to overpower the other person's domain. So that's why it's draining, because you're constantly increasing the output into your domain to match the other.
Doesn't it also have to do with like the quality of your technique?
No, it's the refinement of your domain. So just how skilled you are at like constructing a barrier, and then it's your cursed energy output. So just like how much cursed energy you can put behind the barrier, and then there's like specific like elemental, I guess kind of how they describe like elemental matchups for cursed techniques. Like maybe Dagon would be like extra good against Jogo or whatever because water is counters fire.
Yeah, but that doesn't. It sounds stupid to me. So it literally just be you put more you put more curse energy to like I guess overpower their curse.
Because nobody's sure hit can go off until the domain clash is over. So you're just putting more and more into your sure hit until you outdo them.
Yeah, you're getting more C, whether that be through like just raw, like I guess under my example, inputting raw C, and in yours it'd be like inputting more CT.
Well, yeah, it'd just be putting more energy into the CT that's already there. Yeah.
So I guess my question is, why do you think the CT can't activate while you're constructing the domain? Because it'd still be there, right?
It'd still be there because you haven't enclosed, or like I assume that you haven't enclosed a full barrier now imbued with your technique. So it can't do the auto targeting because it's not entirely your environment. There's somebody else's environment as well.
Yeah. So I'll give you this argument and you tell me what you think. When we see, I think it was Megami and Dagon, we see that Dogon has the ability to like hit anywhere except wherever Megumi's putting up his like little like pseudo barrier.
Yeah.
I think the reason for that is because CE is like the prerequisite for it. CE obviously, I guess in Megumi's side is being surrounded by his CE, so it stops that from happening. But if CE wasn't hold on, wait a second. But if CE wasn't the mechanism, then I think the CT, because Megumi still is like objectively within that radius, the CT should necessarily be able to like hit him, because it's already imbued there, right?
No, that's like where my disagreement would be. I think once somebody else's environment is present, that portion, I guess, or like that environment that doesn't belong to you, your CT is not imbued with, so you can't just activate it there.
And what do you think the mechanism for that is? You just think it's raw CT?
Well, I think it's like the entire, like I said, the entire domain is imbued with a powered CT, and that powered CT can manifest this effect anywhere. But I'm saying the powered CT is not present in the other person's environment, only in your own.
Yeah, and how does that happen? I'm so lost.
How does what happen?
How does the like whole CT thing? Because isn't CT devoid of CE? Isn't it just like some automatic thing?
Well, no, your curse technique is the device, right? So the device isn't devoid of the electricity. The device is powered by electricity. I'm saying what the device does is devoid of electricity, unless your device coincidentally is like a fucking lightning gun or some bullshit, like a fucking taser.
Yeah, that's not really what I'm talking about. I'm saying, how do you lose access to that area?
How do you lose access to that area? Somebody expands their own environment, which is imbued with their curse technique there.
Yeah, but how does that take away your curse technique if it's...
They're two separate spaces. We know domain expansions are like unique and separate spaces. So when Megami opened his little domain within Dagon's domain, that's like it's considered a separate space with regards to like imbued curse technique at the very least.
Yeah, but I don't think... Okay, if the space is already imbued with curse technique, I don't see how you can take that away, unless like the mechanism was CE, because it like
you're just creating a space. You're just creating a space in place.
We know you're just taking less. You said what? Sorry?
You're just creating a space in place of the pre-existing space. You're just creating a new space where the pre-existing one was.
But
that pre-existing one is no longer there.
Do you notice that? Okay, so that's where my question lies. So the reason that Dogon's domain is able to like slowly over is because Megami, to keep up expanding his space, has to be I guess spamming CE. So that must necessarily mean that he's fighting against something which I guess he has to expand CE for. So I think it makes sense that he's fighting against CE.
That's kind of under my view if he's just powering his CT further. Like if he's just putting more electricity into the device, that still follows under my view. Give me like 2 seconds.
Well, I'm saying how are the devices combative? Oh yeah, but is that like, I don't know, like to me it seems that like, by the way, this isn't like an argument I'm saying yet, just in case like you can still hear me. Like it seems to me that like that wouldn't follow because they're having a domain clash. CTs are devoid of that. They're just regions with your domain or with your curse technique. So it's like that's fine. They can both coexist unless there's some competing force, which would be like the CE, right? Like two devices can exist within the same space, but maybe like their like maybe two magnets might have electricity fighting, right? I don't know, or like their repulsion. It literally doesn't make sense to me.
Anyways.
Yo, someone in chat pinged you to debate abortion or theology.
Shut up.
I'm a big abortion guy.
I already responded to them, bro. I already responded to them.
I mean, I'm a big abortion guy, right? Very obviously pro-life, right? Should not be killing fetuses.
You're fucking dumbass.
Just did.
Wait, please raise your hands. Both hands up. I don't want to punch you before you're ready.
I catch it.
The guy thinks he has jokes now. Anyway.
Godly, what were we talking about before I went to take a piss? It was something about the domain clashes.
Watch him get lost like in the
Wait, is that
debate.
Gizbob? Why do you sound like Aston?
Oh my god.
I don't sound like I said.
We're like two peas in a pod, bro.
Yeah.
Why is there 3 Gizbobs?
I might as well change my name to Gizbob. Oh shit.
Wait,
Fuck.
was that Gizbob talking? Is he back or?
Yeah,
was
Gizbob's
that-
back,
no,
bro.
I'm back. I'm back.
Yeah, I'm back,
Okay.
I'm back.
We're talking about the mechanics of whether it has like CE or CT. What do you think about cleave, which is like straight up stated to cut anything with cursed energy? It's like cursed energy is necessarily like what? No, because dismantle stated to not use cursed energy. So I think like, or without cursed energy. So I think like the activation or like how they're used post technique is like still requiring things. So it's like it doesn't make sense unless you think Sukuna's technique or domain is just like different than everybody else's.
No,
That'd be like the only
I
argument
disagree.
see,
I
like-
disagree with that analysis of the grammar. I think it's saying that cleave targets things within the domain that have cursed energy, and dismantle targets things that do not have cursed energy.
Oh, can you send that? Because I was just going off of what
I
I've
don't-
seen.
I'm driving. I'm
I have
sure.
the chapter. I'll look for it. I'll look for it. Well, I got given the chapter,
yeah,
so it shouldn't be too hard.
Okay.
Yeah. Is it when he's in Yuji's body?
It's when he uses his domain on Maharaga, I believe.
Maharaga. Wait, in the very first like chapter? He fights Maharaga? We're talking about.
I
when
don't
he's
remember
still,
what
like,
chapter it is.
Is it when he's still
No. It's 15 fingers, Sakuna.
Okay, yeah.
And
yeah, that's
I'll
what
give you
I was talking
the argument in advance. The reation I think that's what it's talking about is because his domain expansion explicitly does hit things without cursed energy. Nobody else's does that. Like, he still destroys buildings and shit. Nobody else brings buildings into their domain.
I'm low-key just gonna, like, because, well, the chapter they gave me was false. I'm just gonna skip to, like, the later chapters where we see his, I guess, ability, and I'll just see. I destroyed their own.
The chapter
I
is
was-
like
I was-
one third. It's like
I was gonna say it just,
1/3.
I was gonna say it does seem super weird to me that, like, a precursor to it should be the cursed energy, but then it also requires the cursed energy. Again, if it's not like being traveled or it's not being used to cover some sort of distance, so.
Yeah, and cleave explicitly is the one that doesn't travel. It's the one that he has to touch you to use.
Pause.
Yeah. It's like what I do to Addison usually. Very similar.
Yeah. I bet. No, I couldn't find it, so yeah, I guess it's back to what we were arguing. It was, I don't remember specifically what we were on, but it pertained to whether domains are constructions of C or whether it's like purely CT.
Yeah. We were talking about domain clashes. Basically, it's a clash of like areas imbued with cursed energy. I was just saying it's like areas imbued with a cursed technique, and however powerful the cursed technique is. This is just stated at the very least that domain clashes are decided by who, like, or can be decided by who has a greater cursed energy output. So I think it's just saying like how much energy you can put into that technique decides like who wins. Like if your device is more powered, then yours takes precedence, sort of deal.
Wait, hold on, bro. I just remembered. Doesn't Limitless literally use? Isn't it literally just activated straight up by just amplifying cursed energy? And isn't his domain just limitless everywhere? Wouldn't that just mean it's just him spamming cursed energy everywhere?
Wait. No, I don't think limitless is. It's like amplification of cursed energy insofar as the netted effect is greater than the cursed energy itself. And no, his domain isn't limitless everywhere. It's he has like a very specific sure hit.
And it's limitless, right?
His sure hit is unlimited void, which like is like an infinite amount of information.
Yeah. So it like forces limitless onto the target.
No, the limitless is an infinite division of space. Unlimited void is infinite amount of information. They're very distinct.
Well, I don't know. I'm low-key going off of like this scan server, and it straight up says, I'll read it out for you. The unlimited void described as being activated by channeling amped cursed energy into limitless. The domain forces limitless effect onto targets.
I don't know what scan server told you that shit, but his domain's effect is like very explicitly just infinite information, like brain fries people. We see it like every time.
Yeah. Isn't that what isn't that what Limitless grants you? Am I tripping?
No, the base level Limitless is like an infinite division of space, like so you just can't you can't be touched. He's basically like space manipulation is what he has, like to like a non-finite degree. He can infinitely divide a space between him and someone else.
If the guy's just bugging, then I guess it could go back into like the previous argument. The reason I'm trying to like bring up other things is because I'm low-key losing track of what we were even talking about. If you remember though, you could bring it up.
It was just about like the way broader point, like where we got started was it was about if like using cursed energy, like how they use cursed energy regarding this.
Yeah, it's
like,
whether cursed energy is like necessarily everywhere, but I'm wondering like I know we went through like 20 points within that. I'm just wondering which one we were on.
Specifically, we were still talking about like how the domains work. Like I think we were there, but we've been talking about that for a while. If you want to like move on to something else.
Sure. So we've talked about so far. What have we talked about? We've talked about if like the beam can one-shot the culmination of attacks, but I guess we can get back into that. I think there should be other reasons why it shouldn't be the case. It was like 180, right?
180 is like the end of it. It's like 170 onward. Or 177.
Yeah, no, but I'm about like everything pre-180, right?
We talked about a bunch of different stuff. I don't remember what we haven't gone over, but we were just talking about like generally how Yuta scales to Ryu. But my main question is something I wanted to ask you earlier. You're fine with Rika like being rel to Ryu to an extent, right? Because you were just more worried about if Yuta scales to that.
That's kind of like a question though. Because we do see like we know she has the AP to hurt him. If that's what you mean, sure, but I don't know if they can be relevant like the generals.
Well, she has a durability.
Well, not really. After he's like not, like I guess after he's not surprised by her speed, he kind of just starts shitting on her.
When?
Like she doesn't touch him again, and he's only able to hit her.
No, they both hit each other like the same amount of times.
No, again, she punches him, and then he gets mad. He punches the shit out of her before she can like continue her barrage, and then he sends her flying before the domain clash.
Wait,
she's able to hit him like when he's not really aware of how fast she is, and then afterwards he kind of just bitches her.
Wait, why is he? Okay, him being unaware of how fast she is would run counter to your previous point that people can generally make a sort of a Smith as characters are just by looking at them or sensing them. So he should have some idea of how fast she is, and then they just each hit each other once.
Does he though? Because we know he should have a gauge of her like CE, but her control like he doesn't really have a gauge of. Because my point was only in terms of like control. I mean CE just in general, right? Not like being able to. There's 5 of you now. Not being able to control it.
He's seen her manipulate CE to tank his attack, so no, he should have a good idea of how much it can amp her stat.
No, well, so you think she was like amping it? Okay, I guess that would be like an argument per se, but I don't know. I don't know if that makes sense because I feel like at that point she should have kind of been working him because it's kind of portrayed as a blitz. He literally doesn't move or like move to block it, and she travels a greater distance and like punches him. So I'm wondering like if I were to grant that to be the case, it'd kind of run into consistency issues of whether she can even like it'd have to I guess mean that he was either holding back or he was underestimating her. And if we're saying that it wasn't underestimation, wouldn't it just be like clear that he was holding back? What's your take on that?
My main disagreement would just be I think it's fine for two people who are comparable to land like hits on each other that might otherwise, like independent of context, look like a feat in favor of one or the other. I think this is like the case in real life as well. We see like trained like fighters in the UFC like land very clean punches on each other that aren't reacted to at all for like a wide variety of reasons. It's not to say that they would like blitz each other or anything. It's like something that we'd expect of two relative fighters. Because
Well, I
you can
don't
argue the
see why
same thing
that's
for
the case
Ryu
in
where
fiction, really.
he hits her back the same way.
Well, yeah, but that's why I'm saying it makes sense for Ryu to be faster because he like after that fact he kind of starts hoeing her. And we see that like in Yuta's fight, like they relatively or like they consistently scale relative. I guess to show that in that engagement they were relative. Obviously, what's in question there is whether Ryu was holding back. But I'm saying in this engagement, it seems like they go like an entirely separate route, and instead of showing like some sort of relativity throughout, they kind of show him just like straight like, bro, he doesn't, she's so far from him and he doesn't even put his hands up or nothing. Like he just gets straight socked in the jaw, and then right after that he's able to like from a shitty position just fucking punch her into the other roof, and then beat her with one, like blast her away afterwards before she's able to hit him. So it's like, I don't know. I don't think that really follows.
I don't think he blasts her. I don't think he blasts her afterwards. I think that's just like the motion line of her getting flung by the punch because she just hits him really hard. But yeah, I mean, I think it's one punch for one punch.
I'm saying a separate. I'm sorry. I'm saying a separate instance. He blasts her.
Oh, is it? This is not when he punches her away, like before the domain.
No. That'd be so rad, bro. Like he blasts her and punches her. Nah, definitely not. He just punches her there, but I can send it through Google because I can't use Safari right now. Because I don't know why that shit do not be working on Safari.
Safari in the first place, what?
Bro, because you can save scans on Safari. On here, every time I save it says privacy error. It says privacy error. I can't do that shit. Hey, but Gizbob, can you let the other Gizbob speak, bro?
Yeah, absolutely.
I appreciate that, bro. So yeah, well, I don't know if you can see the scan, but if you want anyone to vouch, right before they domain clash, it's shown like him standing in front of her, like charging up a beam, and then it does say like he blasted her away. It's the reason it's hard to see is because it's like in the back of a panel. It's kind of like hidden, I guess, but yeah, they're clearly right there together about a fade.
Wait, is this just a separate instance, like devoid of context, in which he blasts her? Is that all it is?
Yeah, he just blasts her away.
Oh, that's fine. She tags him later in the fight as well. They both tag each other like a couple of times apiece. I think maybe he lands one more hit. I don't think anything here is inconsistent with relativity, as we see like at the very least under my view, Yuta, who's like around the guy, gets hit by like a few beams. That's the kind of Ryu's whole thing is that despite his like good close range combat, he can just like randomly fucking charge up a beam and shoot you from like any part of his body. So like getting caught by one of those doesn't really seem like an answer.
No, he charges it as they're fighting. He charges it in his head, like where she's seen it from prior. It's not like an arm shot. It's like clearly he's just doing what he normally
what I'm
does.
saying. But if she's occupied in dealing with the hand to hand while he's just charging up a beam, then like no wonder she's getting hit there. I think it's even more impressive because she seemingly doesn't get hurt. She doesn't look hurt, at least when we see her coming back to like the domain.
I'm not sure if. Well, yeah, because I just think she has like disgusting durability, but I'm not sure if it's the case that he's able to charge up while he's like in the midst of hand-to-hand, because we see he doesn't do that with Yuta. We see he does charge one up, but he only does it the second they disengage. So it seems like he wanted to do it, but he really just couldn't amidst the hand-to-hand. So I don't know if that like...
No, there's one instance where he shoots a beam from his back that seems like he was just doing it while they were having a fist fight. Like him and Yuta are having a fist fight with each other. They both go back to back, like as they're like continuing the engagement, and like the second they go back to back, Ryu just shoots him.
Are we sure those are like the same power though? Because we see when he shoots it from his head, he like charges it up, and then we see it released. We see when he does the back shit, it just releases.
Well, we know there's even like a variable. We know there's variable timing regardless of where he shoots it from, right? Because he can charge it up. He can charge it up in his head. His curse technique, the whole thing is curse energy discharge that we know he can charge. I don't see why where he shoots it from would change like his ability to charge it. It's like a whole part of it.
Because we see. Well, then I guess the thing would be I don't think he's able to do that because that kind of proves my point that he's not able to do it while in combat. Because if we see, why is there another fucking Gizbob? All right, anyways. If we see that he's able to do it, only when like they're immediately out of combat and he has to use like a weak one, I kind of take it to be the case that he can't do it while they're like engaged in hand to hand. Whether that be because like he can't focus enough to do it or whatever reason, but I don't think he can.
Well, no, that's interesting. I think there's an instance in which he just does do it in the hand to hand. I think I sent it earlier. Somebody might be able to send it. It's when they first start fighting.
Yeah,
I know when he hits him with his back, but
yeah,
they were fighting, and then like when they stop fighting to go back to back, he pops.
I don't think they stopped fighting there. I think that's them still mid-fight. I think it's just an instance.
Yeah, I'll check it out. I'll check it out.
Yo, I just looked at the VC. You guys are fucking robots. Why did you copy the server tag as well?
Yeah, I've been making sure it's not one of them talking, because, bro, earlier, I don't know, wait, was that you talking earlier? I swear I heard you, and then I was like, bro, is that
No,
Josh?
it wasn't.
Josh.
It wasn't.
It definitely was. It definitely was him.
Yeah, I was like, what the, like, so I'm always having to make sure who's talking as I'm, like, looking for the scans. Yeah, I have the fight.
Okay. Check that shit. Fuck, I have to go in, like, a couple of minutes. Is there anything else while you, like, look over that instance? Is there anything else that you think we, like, need to address?
Okay, let me think about, we've talked about whether the beam one-shots, we've talked about whether in general he can hit him, we've talked about, like, reinforcement. What have we not talked about? Do you want to talk about, like, the wording? Like, the whole, like, buffet shit he talks about, I think is indicative of, like, him holding back.
You think it's indicative of him holding back? What about it?
The whole, like, speech he gives, I'm trying to grab it, like, quickly before you have to leave.
I think I know what you're talking about. I think it's mostly just, like, him saying that he wants to, like, have, like, a close fight for longer, rather than, like, him holding back. It does seem kind of weird, too, because if he was, like, holding back or whatever, he could have just gone and fought the people in a deadlock. They were strong enough to stalemate him, quote unquote. So if he was, like, the type of guy to just hold back and, like, take that to be anything, like, meaningful, and I don't know why he just didn't hold back to go fight the other people in the deadlock.
I think the other people are, like, clearly weaker. They're kind of ass. Like, the second they get serious, they just, like, the second, like, I guess he pops Rika, and Ryu gets, like, more serious, because now he's like, oh my god, I want to fight Yuta, they kind of just bitch everybody else. They kind of walk them, like, pretty badly.
And to be fair, Earl gets jumped really badly. She gets jumped by Yuta, Rika, and Kurushi, like the cockroach. She gets, like, 3v1 to get taken out of the fight, so it's kind of unfair to her.
Does she get 3v1? I watched her get 2v1.
She gets 2v. The cockroach, like, distracts her, and then Yuta and Rika jump her, and Rika, like, eats her fucking arm. Like, she gets jumped kind of bad.
I'm trying to peep it.
And the cockroach is stated to be, like, a hard counter to her. That's her bad matchup. Like, she's Ryu's bad matchup, and the cockroach is her bad matchup.
Oh yeah, because it doesn't matter how strong Ryu is, she'll just send that shit back.
Yeah.
A particularly nasty opponent, Ryu did it. Immediately after. Oh yeah, and she couldn't pop her CT. Oh, I see the statement now. Immediately after domain expansion, one's curse technique burns away. But that's not really what was in question, I guess, at the end of it, so... It's not really important now, but... Generating an arm, missing arm would be a hell of a feat.
Alright, I gotta head out. I'll probably be back on later. But yeah, it was a good conversation.
I'll grab the... oh, fuck, I'm just now finding the Gizbob. It's, like, at the very end of the fight. I'll send you the rest, but you have...
Yeah.
You have the extra large helping one, right? I don't need to send that.
Yeah, I have that one. Just ping me with all that shit.
Yeah, I'll grab the rest later, and we could continue talking about that, because that's, like, the main thing I like to argue about, too.
Alright.
So, like, I said, we're all debating, though.
Alright. Well, whenever...